Good evening. My name is Curtis Stewart, and it's my presentation on dismantle relationship between South Korea and Japan on the brink of restoration. In 1910 through 1945, Japan occupied and was a protectorate of the Korean Peninsula. This came under two treaties. In 1905, the Oslo Treaty, which gave Japan the right to occupy Korea, and then in 1910, then let Japan move in to Korea. So when the treaty of 1910 was signed and Japan occupied Korea, as expected, many Koreans were highly upset and protested quite frequently and violently. General Masatake, who was the general for the Japan forces at the time, he had to set up troops to patrol and to maintain the Koreans, maintain the Koreans' protests. Joseon, who was the leader of Korea at the time, is one who was responsible for signing the Treaty of 1910, allowing Japan to therefore move into the Korean Peninsula. Joseon was the last leader of the Joseon dynasty, and upon him signing the treaty, he was revered as to be a retard and very weak by the Korean people, because no one could believe how easily he allowed and accepted Japan forces to come in. Now, you may ask, why would Japan want to occupy Korea at that time anyways? Well, at the time, Japan was a very strong force in Asia, and they wanted to maintain that superiority, and they felt that Korea had a chance of building a strong military that could rival their military. So instead of waiting for something like that to happen, they came up with the Oslo Treaty and forced Korea to sign it. And by force I mean they went to Korea and told them to sign it. And then when at first Joseon didn't want to sign it, but then Japan put forces around his office, his place of business, and then instead of him fighting back, he just gave in and said, "All right, yeah, I'll sign it." So the occupation lasted, as I said earlier, from up until 1945, at the end of World War II. After the end of World War II, Korea had a civil war in the 1950s, which left the country split between North and South Korea, and now relations between Korea and Japan is solely based on the relationship between Japan and South Korea. Here we see 1965, the Treaty of Basic Relations between Japan and South Korea. This was the first step to mend the relationships between the two countries. Here's a more recent picture showing South Korea's President Lee Myung-bak and Japan's Prime Minister Yoshihiko Noda. And this meeting was to show that the movement forward in their relationship. And Japan, when they occupied Korea, had taken some raw documents, and so Japan gave some of those raw documents back. Not all of them, but they gave some of them back as a show of good nature. And also they was trying to resolve some issues over some islands that lie in between Japan and Korea. Right. So now that we see that Japan and Korea are moving in the right direction to rectify their past and to have a brighter future, but I feel as if though more can be done. And by that I mean I want to start an organization that caters solely to bonding the two countries. So here I say youth is the way, but I'm not just solely focusing on the youth, as it is a focus for everybody. But when I say youth is the way is like I want to start an organization that starts with the youth, and so that the youth in Korea and the youth in Japan can build relationships as they're growing up. And then, because the youth would then take over the political office, and then if you have individuals who are already friends from childhood, both in the Korean political office and Japan political office, then they may be able to come to a better common ground when it comes to solving political issues, being that their ties are very close. Now we see today that many youth in Japan love Korean dramas, and I love Korean dramas. Korean dramas are the bee's knees. So even by using the Korean dramas, we can show relationship strength building in the dramas. That will help to reach out to the youth of the nation of Japan, and not just in Japan though. It can reach out to other countries in East Asia as well. Amongst those organizations, amongst the activities and events that I want my organization to provide will be such things as so for instance, here we see the Japan and Korea ping pong a table tennis match. But I want to do more things like maybe having like an annual soccer tournament where for the kids and adolescents, where it's not as that who wins or loses who gets a trophy, but just a bonding experience, and people are sharing ideas and sharing each other's culture and learning from one another. This way you can build that relationship strength. On my hermeneutic table is theoretical versus applied. Now, this suits me very well because as of now, both political parties have theories on how to make things better, and having the theories is very well. But we know that if you don't apply what your theories believe in, you will never know if it worked. That's why building these ideas and then applying them is the best way to go about it. And these are my references. Thank you very much for your time.